Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live, and I'm joined by Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, good evening, Kieran. Good evening, everybody out there. Good.
We're all in
Good, good,
better
good.
days at the moment as Arsenal fans. It
Yeah.
feels like everything's back on track.
Mm,
I will say with my chest that we are back. And you
yeah.
can think all you want. I feel we
Yeah.
are back. We're
Yeah.
playing. We're playing with confidence. Everyone seems to be playing well. There's no
Mm-hmm.
like even when we can see the goal, it just feels like we're going to score more.
Mm.
West Ham were not good at all the other day. I'm surprised. I said beforehand, I think I said a couple of weeks ago that Arsenal will be the reason, or they'd be the final nail in the coffin for Julian Lopetegui.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he's still here. By all the noises, it sounds like he's pretty much on his way out. It's very. I think tonight's game will be make or break for him very much so. And then FA Cup draws as well. Manchester United in the FA Cup. Manchester United tomorrow. It's a bit of a Man United overload. So we're going to get Garth Lewis on later on for the preview. It's all going to be it's all going to be friendly. Nothing going to be too sort of. We've seen how it gets heated with us and Garth previously, but this is all
Nah.
friendly. This will be a friendly one for once. First off, we're going to start off. If anyone didn't watch yesterday, we're going to start off on the game against West Ham. Steve, 5-2 against West Ham. Absolutely cruised through that game. All 7 goals, all in the first half. West Ham weren't really great. Garth said that there was a bit of a narrative that was spun that Arsenal were a bit leaky, but I didn't feel that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I was all a little confused when I heard that last night because it didn't feel. At the time, it just felt like Arsenal were absolutely blitzing West Ham. They got a goal very much against the break of play by Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and then a goal that should really never have been with a free kick, which should never have been a free kick.
No, it wasn't. No.
Yeah.
No, then I think the narrative was this confusion when people see the stats, and this was a typical like situation. I mean, I'm not a stat man. I don't like them. Me, I like to use my eyes, and I think this was a typical occasion when that came to pass, if you like, because when you look at the stats, I think it said 12, 13 shots at goal for West Ham, and like I watched the game, and when I watch a game, I watch Arsenal closely, and I was racking my brains to to try and think when we was under pressure or when they had us under pressure.
Yeah.
And and apart from the free kick and the goal, and an offside goal, and probably a Danny Ings chance, which you can allow them a couple of chances. They are at home, any team in the Premier League. Apart from that, there wasn't anything. But I think the narrative was spun, because of just people just look at the stats and don't use their eyes and look at the game or never see the game at all. So I think that's what that was. But it was emphatic, mate. It was an emphatic performance. I was a little bit, nervous before the game because I'm sort of in that place at the minute where I want to just, we need to go on a run, and we beat Forest, convincingly. Then we went on to Sporting in the week, and we dealt with them, and we looked good before that as well, really. Chelsea and Inter Milan. You could see we were starting to get back to ourselves again. So I really was desperate to go and put West Ham to the sword, and we did. And so that was pleasing, and the performance as well was good because West Ham had, we kept hearing that West Ham had beat Newcastle the week before, 2-0. And we all know how difficult a place to go Newcastle is. So I was expecting probably an harder game than what it was, but it was a good performance, mate. Some really good performances, and yes, some standout ones, and some honourable mentions as well. So it was good, mate. It was good. I've got this. How do I feel at the minute? We're 9 points behind Liverpool, and I said last night for anybody who watched the weekend roundup show that mate, the frustrating. We're not 9 points off Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? They are not 9 points better than us. you know, I've watched them all season, and I've given them props, and they've gone and done their business, but they're not. They're not, and that's frustrating as an Arsenal fan when you're sitting 9 points behind. You're like, you're not as good. You're not. Do you know what I mean? 9 points, and I don't even think. I mean, you explained it well afterwards, but you know, yeah. I mean, I still look at the two teams, and I still think we nick it, and we should be the title favourites. We should be up there, and unfortunately, you're not. So there's a bit of frustration there. But it was good, mate. It was a good performance, and as I say, a lot of good performances.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean about the Liverpool thing. I think the frustration boils down to the fact that Arsenal have been in the title race for the last 2 seasons. That they've managed to push Manchester City all the way, and the season that Man City sort of drop off, Liverpool pop up out of nowhere. Arsenal, for the first time in a while, have injuries with some really key players. In Martin Odegaard and Saka. We've been able to deal with the losses in Tomiyasu, even when it's been Saliba with his back issues, or whether it's been Thomas Partey, we've been able to cover those. But to cover the losses of someone who has brought in upwards of 35 goal contributions a season in Saka, and someone who is essentially the one who pulls all the strings in Martin Odegaard for even a small amount of time is a struggle. We were able to cope with that, and I say cope because I think that is the key word. It was a cope, where you saw the likes of the games against PSG, you saw the games against Tottenham, where we weren't trying to have possessional play, we weren't trying to outplay them, we were just trying to be tight, keep good structure, and get the goal and not concede. And we did those in those games, but you could see there wasn't that creative
coming,
spark.
wasn't it? It was coming. Things
it was only going to be a matter of time before teams had worked out where we were lacking, and they did in the end. And what we've got to do, as we said last night, is just do our business. We've got to make sure, not look at Liverpool. Like, don't. It's really not important. Now we should just be focusing. We should be blinkered, focus on 3 points. Don't even look at what Liverpool are doing. Don't even look at what they're doing. It's not important. Like just your job is to get 3 points. It doesn't matter if Liverpool lose, Liverpool win, or Liverpool draw. You still got to get 3 points. So it shouldn't matter. Right now, it's just about focusing on game by game, just chewing through the opponents and putting points on the board.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. I mean, as I said, like, although the frustration's there, because we should be, further. You're exactly right. I've taken away all of that. It's just about Arsenal winning game after game after game after game. I mean, if there was some weird, strange situation where Liverpool and Arsenal went and won, say, that every single game for the rest of the season, and we finished 9 points behind, I'd be happy, as crazy as that sounds, because
I know what you mean.
And you would have to be.
You have to be.
Yeah. It's a weird one.
Yeah, no,
it's a weird one.
I get it because when people say when people say the league's over, Liverpool have won it, give them the title already. I say to them, so what are you saying, that Liverpool are not going to drop points towards the end of the season? And if they didn't, then whoa, you got to hold your hands up. Like, that's outstanding form.
Yeah.
To lose one game and to win every game for the rest of the season after that is outstanding form. So you fully deserve it. But will they?
Yeah.
Will Liverpool go on and win every single game for the rest of the season?
No, I don't think so, because I know you said, like, Liverpool have come out of nowhere, but I mean, we could talk about this, but have they come out of nowhere? Because last season
they did a similar thing, didn't they?
That was the same. Do you know what I mean? They was the same. The only thing that's happened this year is we've seen Man City fall off a cliff, which nobody expected, and Arsenal, getting I mean, in my mind, a lot of bad luck. I think we've had Odegaard out, which has caused us a lot of difference. And we've also had okay, look, some really decisions go against us, and Liverpool have and Arsenal have dropped back because of that. And Liverpool, for me, Liverpool have just carried on from what they was doing last season. And what happened to Liverpool last season? Eventually, they fell away. Now, is this team that I'm watching now, Liverpool, any better than the team that was in the title race last? I don't think so. I don't think they was really good then, and they're really good now. So, are we looking at Liverpool as if to say, okay, fair play, you're at the top, you're 9 pots, but are they any better now than they was when Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City were in the title race together until they fell off?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
know. I would say I don't know. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because they've definitely got a new manager bounce with Slot, and Slot's also tweaked a few things. And I think that's one of the points that he made when he came in. He says he doesn't want to change too much because it's a good team, it's a working team. So what he's done is he's worked on a few things with Trent and got his defensive, got him defensively more sound. He's Liverpool are playing a little bit more with a little bit more structure, I would say, and it's very fluid. It's very good, easy on the eye. I don't know. It's hard to say that Liverpool are playing better than a Jurgen Klopp team, but
yeah, it's different
right now. You'd have to say they're performing better.
I just wonder if that's a little bit skewed because of
maybe it is. Arsenal,
because of Arsenal, Man United. Sorry, Arsenal, Man City of like. See, I always think I always stop myself because I was just about to say then Man City dropped off and so have Arsenal, but I genuinely don't think Arsenal have dropped off. I don't see any different. I look at it and I just feel that we've gone through a stage where we went to City and we should have won that game. We got a man sent off stupidly and rightly so. That dropped us 2 points. Yeah. We was 1-0 up at Brighton. Rice got sent off. Yes, he was stupid. They got another guy. That's another 2 points. And against Bournemouth, we went down to 10 men again. We was out without Odegaard at the time. Then we was out Saliba. And Bournemouth turned around. It's to say, worst ways we would have got a draw out of that. That's like leaves us 2 points behind Liverpool. And I know it's all ifs and buts, but I think we would have had more points. And yeah, I think the frustration is a lot in me. But look, we are where we are, and you're right, mate. We've just got to do our business and carry on. And yeah, it looks like we are where we was at the end of last season. So that's great. That's where we are now, and that's why we got to, when we get onto the Man United preview, we got to go and beat them and continue. But look, sorry, mate, go on.
No, I was going to say this was the match week 14 this time last year. Arsenal sitting on the top, 33 points. Liverpool's on 31. And
how many points they got now?
Manchester City on 30. And now Liverpool have 34. Arsenal have 25. And 3 games is 6 points. They dropped with the draws from playing a player down. So add 6 points onto Arsenal's current total. And you'll be looking at 31. Which is what Liverpool are on the season. So Arsenal a little bit, probably if you work out what games, if you take into account the games that we lost, Arsenal lost against Bournemouth, but then last season they lost against Villa. This season they got points against Villa. This is why I say I think Christmas is by the end of Christmas, when you've done halfway through the season. That's where you can see where you are. I know people will say, yeah, but this and that, and Christmas is a very congested.
Oh, this is massive, mate.
This
massive
is a time
month.
where it's really make or break for a lot of teams. Really, really does separate the league.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be over the moon if we're 5 points. If we can get 5 points, I'm like, at the moment, I'm like, we're 9 points behind. I'm like, okay, league's not over. But if Liverpool was to lose in the next 2 games and we was to win and carry on winning like we have, there'd be a little smirk coming to my face, and if to say it, and I'll be like, the confident. What I'm trying to put across to myself, although I'm concerned and worried now, them losing 1 game and Arsenal carrying in and Arsenal are carrying on winning those, I'll be like, you better watch yourself, Liverpool. Now all of a sudden, people are talking like, for me, like, oh yeah, Liverpool. I've seen people say, oh, they win their next 2 games, they've done it, it's over, it's won the league. When on the skip side, if they lose 1 and we win 1, and then all of a sudden we're 6 points behind, and we're playing like the way we are, then I'm like, you better watch yourself. You know what I mean? It's that thin line, isn't it? So such a thin line.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying yesterday. Like, it's not. It's, and this is why we should be focusing on the games that we are playing and not even looking at Liverpool's games. Like, don't look at Liverpool when they lose. Don't look at Liverpool when they draw, because we still have to get the 3 points. It's a psychological thing.
Yeah.
Don't just keep on winning games. You're there to win games. The moment Arsenal are 5, 6 points behind Liverpool, 100% there will be players in that squad that will be thinking, "Oh,
what Liverpool are we talking about?
We can't slip up now.
Yeah.
We can't do this. We can't." Now maybe the Allisons.
That's one game, mate, and that's one game. One game.
Exactly.
You're talking about one.
So maybe the Allisons, the Salahs, the ones that have been there before in that team will be saying, "No, cool, we've been here before. We know what to do." There's players like Conor Bradley. There's players that came from Brighton, like McAllister. There's players like Gravenberch. There's Dominic Szoboszlai. Do they have the mentality to hold out? They've not been there before. So it's all well
Nunes.
Nunes. It's all well and good. These other players that have been there before. But what happens when Salah has a bad patch? What happens when Salah has a quiet patch? Because everyone has one a season. It may be 2 or 3 games where he doesn't score. It happened last season. Like, it may be 2 or 3 games he doesn't score. Who's going to be there to make up for those goals? Does Gakpo have it when it's 1-0 on the 79th minute and he's put through 1 on goal? Does Nunes? Like, this is what we're talking about. When the pressure comes, right now there's no pressure on Liverpool. It's not even Christmas, and people are trying to hand Liverpool the Premier League title. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous.
Yeah,
Arsenal's still in there.
Oh, 100%, mate. And if, as I say, they only have to lose 1, and you're going to get a lot of their squad sort of like, all of a sudden look behind their shoulder. And sometimes it can be like beneficial for the team that's chasing, at this time of year. But obviously you can't let them go too far, ahead. I mean, and that's why Christmas is a big period, because Arsenal have, you look at our fixtures and you think to yourself that, we've got a good chance of winning all these games, over Christmas, and there's a lot of games that Liverpool are playing that where they could slip up. This is a hard time for Liverpool. So they've got through Man City, but football's a funny game, mate. It really is, and 1 minute you can be up, and the next minute you can down. I watched Liverpool against Southampton the weekend, but before last, and they really struggled to get through that. So, it's you can't let it go too long, and obviously but as you say, you have to just get on with business and just concentrate on your old team, and that's like what I said. Just all Arsenal can do now is win all the game. Look, you will get at the end of the season, if we finished so many points behind, like Arteta sacked, get him out. You will get it.
I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into it, Steve.
I can't even.
I'm not even entertaining it. Garth asked the question, and he didn't mean it wasn't coming from a bad place, but he asked the question. He said, at the end of the season, or what point do you start looking at Arteta and say
Never.
We need to start. And I said, look. If I'm honest, I'm not even entertaining the question because I don't even think that when we start asking those questions now, at this point now, it's you're kind of dismissing, not dismissing, but you've already got it in your head. I shouldn't be watching this season with a thought process of, if he doesn't do this, he needs to go. Like, I should be watching this season, and then at the end of the season, that's when you start having those questions. That's when you have like, okay, what do we need to do going forward now? We need to start winning some trophies because it's all well and good trying to win the Premier League, but we're going year in, year out without even putting anything in the trophy cabinet. We are good enough. We've got a big enough squad now to be challenging for the Premier League and the Champions League and putting a trophy in the cabinet. That's what we've got to start setting the expectations for now.
Yeah, but
that's not to say he should be getting the sack. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And people don't want to put these things into context as well. People will always go, oh, look at Mascara and look what he's done in one season. Look what so-and-so's done. No, you can't go to Chelsea and then keep starting from scratch each time and say, oh, look what my manager's doing. Look what my manager's doing against your manager. No. What's your club done in the last 5 years? It's done nothing.
Look at Ten Hag in his first season.
Exactly.
So what? So what? All of a sudden, Maresca's the new big thing. He's just come from Leicester. Do you know what I mean? What happens at the next season? Chelsea probably fall apart again. There's always a team every season. There's always if it's like not a Newcastle, if it's
last season,
if it's not Spurs, now it's a Chelsea, and every year we get these managers get lauded. Oh, this is the next new great manager after one season, and then the following season they finish. Oh, Emery should be taken over from Arteta. Oh, well, they're doing well now, aren't they?
yeah.
You know what?
Remember that one?
Gabby Bonnier. Arteta's not as good as on Bonnier. Absolute
Emery.
Nonsense crap.
The Emery one. The amount of Arsenal fans that came out, oh yeah, maybe we didn't give Emery enough chance. Yes, we did. And look, Emery's doing the same as what he done with Arsenal, what he done with Aston Villa. And that's not to say Emery's a bad manager. It's really not. This is not picking out Emery. I know, because you was a fan of Emery. You was a fan of Emery.
Yeah, I was. I like him.
But you can't keep looking back and thinking, oh, what if? What if? Like, move on. Move on. Emery was not the right fit for Arsenal. He is the right fit for Aston Villa. Trust me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He is the right fit for Aston Villa.
Trust me on that one. Yeah, but it's like when the conversations do come out and people ask the questions, I'm the same as you. From now, if I'm answered the question, I'm just going to say, look, no disrespect, but I don't even want to go there because I think it's a silly question.
Yeah.
Or something to that limit. You know, I'm not even going to entertain it. You know, I've been thinking like a lot over the last few days, or few weeks, or months, or whatever it is. You know, I don't know why people ask this question. I don't even know why it's brought up, because it's been brought up by some intelligent, or claim to be intelligent football pundits on TV and people who, apparently get paid a living on podcasts for reporting on the Arsenal Football Club, and they bring up the Arteta same question. It doesn't. Because if you finish second in the Premier League, that does not make you a bad manager. That does not make you want the sack. Because you finish second to the best team on the planet, that does not make you a bad manager. Right? If you don't win the Champions League or get to the quarter, that does not make you a bad manager.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If you finish second, it doesn't mean the players in that squad or on that first 11 are not world class. It doesn't mean that they're not a great squad. So where is this, bollocks about when Arteta get the sack? Give yourself, all you people, give your heads a wobble and start thinking with a football brain, because it's starting to roll me up. And do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's the Premier League.
Do you know what it is?
Oh, you ain't won the Premier League. You finished second.
No,
you've got to there. You've got world-class players. You've got a great squad. You've got great players. Yeah, you finished second. Oh, but you're going to sack him. What fucking nonsense. Excuse my French.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, yeah? It's like, it's almost as if you don't get to enjoy it. Like, Arsenal have had 2 really good seasons. Would we like us to win the Premier League or the Champions League? Yeah, of course we would. We're Arsenal fans. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's in our blood. We live and breathe this team. But like, you weren't allowed to enjoy it because as soon as you was like, do you know what? I'm really proud of my team. It was like, proud of what? The trolls come out. I'm really proud of my team. Proud of what? Proud of coming second. Nice. What a trophy. You're like, oh, we've done really well this season. We've progressed really well. Oh, Progression FC. Progression FC. You're like, oh, do you know what? Odegaard, Saka, like all these players are coming together. There's some great. I can see great things happening. Netflix. Yeah. This team is Netflix FC. This team is Netflix FC. And you're like, oh no. now, Patrice Evra's come out with something. It was very clever, pretty funny. If I was on the other side of it, I'd be laughing my nuts off. But now it's Arsenal. I'm like, oh God's sake! Now they've got a Netflix FC thing. Now they're going to laugh at us for the next 6 months. But
they believe it. People believe it and they take it in and they like, yeah. Sometimes you can't even blame the people who are going along with the narrative because you've got these idiots who are bringing up the narrative.
Steve, I done a video the other day. Yeah, I done a video the other day, and Liverpool fan turned around to me and goes, oh, you bottled the league 2 years in a row. I was like, excuse me, mate. Excuse me, pause, yeah? You was in the same situation as us last season, yeah? When you was top of the league for a very long while, and it wasn't until we beat you and you fell off a cliff. So would you call that bottling? He goes, oh, it's just banter, mate. And I'm like, you don't realise how this is ruining my life. You don't realise how much this is getting to me. And you get to go, it's just banter, mate. Because you weren't the butt of the joke. It kills me. It absolutely kills me. We've got Garth sitting in the back. We can't leave him waiting any longer. Once we finish on the preview, we will do a few transfer stories. Obviously, we've got Steve here. We've got a little bit of an exclusive that popped up earlier on with Rafael Leão. We will go into that in a bit. And obviously, we want to talk about Roberto Alabi, which is one of the biggest news stories at the moment with regards to Arsenal or the links with Arsenal. We're joined in the room by Garth Lewis. Boom! Oh, sorry, I said it was going to be a friendly, didn't I?
Was that not what my introduction? Was it like it was all about Steve? It was all about Steve, mate. Like, we got Garth in the room. Steve's coming up later with transfers, by the way. We've got some exclusives to tell you about.
He's hurt. He's about to leave. I was just Garth dropping me a private message. Any more chat about Steve, and I'm done. All right, sorry.
Well, you know, he's Garth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously, mate. We know the stories here, mate. We know the stories. Chris Everett is funny, man. That was a quality job.
Oh, it was, honestly. It's burnt me. I was like, no! You know when you put one
and he knew what was coming from it. Everyone calling it Netflix FC now. Like I'm sure he didn't want that. He just thought he was having a funny one-liner.
But bruv, honestly, when I see him, and I see like the one-liners, whether it's expressions, Patrice Evra, or whoever it is, when I hear it, and I'm like, you just know, you're like, oh god, that's a good one. That's a good one. You know that's gonna hit. You know everyone's gonna run with it, and you're like, it goes quiet because obviously you're in your own bubble. The moment you step outside, Netflix FC, you're like, oh god. It landed, and I didn't get away with it, and I'm not gonna get away with it. But
yeah. I've deleted all these like these accounts, these mad accounts. I just one day I heard something that connected to my team, and I just went on every single social media platform I'm on, all the YouTube, and I just went delete.
Left a narky message before though.
So I don't hear nothing anymore. I just had one of them days where it, like, or mad 10 minutes. I just blocked everything you could ever incite. You know, every even some Arsenal, ex-Arsenal players who are pundits. Yeah, you're gone. I'm not having that. Mercer, you can.
Mercer.
Did you at least give him the message, Steve? That I'm having to clear out. If you want to stay on the list,
yeah.
This.
Yeah, can you? Yeah. I did. I went on a crazy one.
If you're still here, you're a real OG. If you're still here, you're a real one.
When I turn on my YouTube one now, it's just full of like kids' YouTube cartoons have come up. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what they're sending me now. Because apart from the Athletic and something else or a few others, then It took me. It finally beat me. So.
Well, Arsenal, Man United, they cannot get away from each other. Drawn in the FA Cup last night live. Well, I didn't realise it at the time, and I didn't even want to believe it. I had to double check after Garth said, "Guess who we got?" And I could see it in his eyes that I knew we got. And I saw it was Man United. I was just like, "Oh God, this is right." Do you know what it feels like? It feels like Chelsea, Ranieri time, Arsenal. That time, it feels like that. It feels like we've just got a cluster of games, whether it's been in the Champions League, the League, FA Cup, whatever. And I just not got a good feeling about the FA Cup one. The League tomorrow, I feel like we've got this.
They're the kings of the kings, mate.
FA Cup, I just feel like it's going to be a bad day for Arsenal. I don't know why. It's just new manager bounce, Ruben Amorim. He's got that good hair as well. It's just too much for me. It's too much.
I'll be doing the usual. I'll be like up for the game already. You know, after the game we get beat. I was going, I didn't want that anyway. Do you know what I mean? I want more important things.
Yeah, we got this for free.
And then I'll be in the bedroom crying afterwards. Yeah. I'll be talking to these guys like, after the game, and I'll be going, yeah, well done, lads. I know it's good, got on like that. Deep down, it's killing me, like wrenching inside my gut. And,
there's no way. If we beat you in the FA Cup, mate, you'd do what I'd do as well, which is not speak for 2 days. Like no one.
You know what? Who needs to do a post-match reaction? We don't need to. Don't need it. Game's rubbish anyway. Game's rubbish. Just walking around like stinks.
Actually, right.
It's a transfers only show tonight. A transfers only show. I think.
Yeah, no, mate, like that at all. Not having it.
What is it? January. Early January is it the FA Cup? It'll be, won't it?
I just had it up.
It's after the
January
11th.
January 11th.
January the 11th. Yeah. So yeah, new manager bounce will be done by then. We'll know a hell of a lot more.
Honeymoon period over.
Yeah, and this Man United team.
But the FA Cup's just like, they're just one-off games, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think it matters if you're home or away. I think it's just a one-off football match. And yeah, but like I said, Arsenal got Tottenham close after that. Mm-hmm. So, and again, the importance thing, would it come into it? What team will Arteta play?
Yeah. After Christmas, injuries mount up over that Christmas period as well, man. You don't know what team United or Arsenal are going to have when you come to that. One of us may have to play a weakened team because at this stage you've got to concentrate on the league at the moment, especially you boys at the moment. You know what I mean? Like you want the cups, obviously, but
yeah. And we were just talking about that with regards to the league and the 9-point gap that Liverpool currently have. Was just saying about the Christmas period is the toughest period, and it really does set out how the league sort of pans out for the remainder of the season. It's really the litmus test to what's to go on. A bit of team news on tomorrow's game. Arsenal will assess the fitness of Gabriel, Mikel Moreno, Thomas Partey, and Ricardo Calafiori, but all four want to play according to manager Mikel Arteta. Tomiyasu remains out. That's not a surprise. Man United captain Bruno Fernandes is available after he was taken off as a precaution in a 4-0 win against Everton. Lisandro Martinez and Kobe Mainoo are suspended for a result after accumulating 5 bookings this season. And Lenny Yoro will be involved in the Premier League matchday squad for the first time since his broken metatarsal.
Luke Shaw's out as well, isn't he? Luke Shaw's gone down again, isn't he?
Was he back?
He was only back for a minute.
I genuinely mean that. Was he back?
No, I'm not joking. Yeah. I'm serious. He's gone down with an injury.
No.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. He's on crutches. He's on crutches, isn't he?
A small setback, he's saying, but yeah, he's had to release a statement.
That may have been a joke picture, but I did see a picture of him on crutches, but that may have been like a joke thing.
They're not saying what the injury is. They're really not. What he's written is, it's hurting a lot to have to write this, as I really thought I had got through my recent struggles and was on a positive path going forwards. But unfortunately, I've had a small setback. I've been through a lot of ups and downs. Yeah, I mean, the rest of it's nonsense. So yeah, they're not saying what it is, but
why do you think he's come out with a statement?
Frustrated? That England thing took the piss, mate. Sorry, yeah, that took the piss. He weren't available for us all year. Fought his way back to fitness to play in the semi-final and the final, and then went down injured again at the start.
I think you mentioned that before, didn't you?
Yeah. With frustrating is the right word for it. I think the problem is because we all know how good he is and how much we need him. He's kept, and he keeps being kept because it's not an easy replacement, Luke Shaw. It's not but he's just never available. Like I had this with Martial. He's got to go.
But he's not there. He's not. So you're currently playing without a Luke Shaw, and you have done for a while. So essentially, he's not part of the team. So if you've had him for such a long period of time that you are playing without him. So
and we've been playing poorly. We need him. We didn't have a left back all last season, mate. Yeah, we needed Luke Shaw.
But are you not getting a proper replacement because Luke Shaw there? Is that the something in the subconscious where Man United think, okay, we've got Luke Shaw there, we're not going to get someone?
That's what I'm. Go on, Steve.
No, I was just going to say they are. I think they've been
now they are
the left-sided player.
They are now, but I think he's talking about for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's had injury problems his whole career, isn't he? You know,
since he had his double
the latter stage. Yeah, the latter stage.
Even a year or two into Man United, he had that double broken leg in Europe, and that's what started everything.
Yeah.
It's ruined him since then. Like he's had seasons where he's come back and played the whole season.
Yeah.
But he's always had niggles, and then recently, the last 2-3 years,
that's what I'm noticing. The last 2 or 3 years.
I think fully fit. I think I've said many times before. You know, I really rate Luke Shaw. You know, a fully fit Luke Shaw for me starts for England, starts for Man United. But at the same time, I did say yesterday on the roundup that I didn't think he could play tomorrow because of his fitness and how well Saka and Odegaard are playing. So it may not be that much of a loss. I don't know.
That's what he is. That's what he is. He thought to himself, I've got to play Bukayo Saka tomorrow, and his hamstring went ping. Sorry, mate. You ain't playing.
What did he say?
Just a fault.
Unforeseen circumstances. The missus wants to take me shopping with the kids.
Yeah. That's crazy. And listen, I'd say Martial Mount's on the same path as well. I really like Mason Mount as a player. I think he's a great player. But if he doesn't get his fitness issues right this season and stay fit when we need him, like we can't. I don't like.
Harry.
Yeah, I'll tell you that well yesterday. You could be loyal up to a point, but you cost. I mean, Luke Shaw must be on 2 something a month, as must Mason Mount. You know, I mean, they must both be on 200 something a month. You're costing us lots of money, and we need you to be fit, and you never are. So yeah, Luke Shaw. I think his contract runs until 2026. I think it is. So, which is a nightmare for us. But yeah, someone wants to buy him. You know, at this stage now, what is he? 29. Like a 30 mil bid.
I'm not going to get a lot higher.
No, 25, 20, 30 to 30 mil. I think you'd have to seriously, as good as he is, seriously consider taking that with the way that the FFP is these days and everything. So
yeah, I don't know what it is with England left right backs. You know, you got Reece James, you got Luke Shaw, and you got
Ben Chilwell. He's always injured as well.
Ben Chilwell.
Yeah. Ben White now, you know, gone. He's out for a few. God knows till when.
No, Ben White's out for 3 months, but prior to that, he had a really good play. Most games for the last 2 seasons. So I think that's why we were surprised about Ben White's being out, and people kind of question, is it because Timber's playing? Because this is that, because of that? But he's just injured on Timber.
I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about him.
No, this is why I brought up the subject, guy, because I know you're a big fan of Timber. You've done a full dossier. Thank you very much on that for me, because you thought he was joining Man United, but instead he joined.
Louis Van Gaal!
But instead he joined Arsenal. Steve, at the moment, Timber's a bit of an underrated, not underrated, but unsung hero. I don't want to say hero. Hero's too much. Like, he's playing really well, and he's not one of the names that people are sort of saying, pointing out. But he's undercover. He's kind of smashing, isn't he?
Oh yeah, mate. He's been. I mean, we was excited like before he got his injury. You know, last year. You know, we was talking about him in pre-season. We was like, wow, this guy.
Garth was right.
I mean, Garth was right. You know, I don't watch.
I did not expect this.
I don't watch Dutch. We was excited, wasn't we? We was thinking, you know, is he going to start for the new season? And Nottingham Forest come around, didn't it? And it was like, yep, Timber's in, and he was playing well, and then he got injured and with the ACL, and then he was out, and then unfortunately we've had to wait until the start of this season. He's been like a new signing, and he's came in and his form's been, up there with the best Arsenal players that we've got, and he seems like he's got a bit of everything. He can play in nearly every position on that back line, whether it's right back, left backs. Garth said he can also play centre back. He inverts
And
into the midfield. He's dangerous coming forward. He's got a shot on him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? He overlaps. He can defend. I mean, he hasn't. It's very hard. I don't think he's got a weakness. And Ben White must be like, my God. Do you know what I mean? Like, we
get full recovery, Ben, because you're going to need it when you come back, mate. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, do you know what I mean? I never thought I'd be saying that at this moment in time. It's looking like, Julian Timber's taken over Ben White, and Ben White ain't done nothing wrong. But
is this a right back, by the way? You both were adamant that Timber wouldn't take Ben White's position, but he's he's a different grade.
Taking an injury.
I thought,
do you know why,
Garth?
Yeah. No, Ben White's excellent as well. He is. I'm joking. Sorry. Yeah.
No. You know why, Garth? You know why I didn't think subconsciously why I didn't think he'd take his place, because I thought he was going to be a left back. I thought
position.
I thought he was going to play because in pre-season when he first come, and like the first game of the season against Nottingham Forest, he was being used as a left back. And
it's not just that. Sorry, it's not just that. It's that when we saw him in pre-season, from that left back position, he was doing what Zinchenko was doing, but in a different way. Where Zinchenko would get forward, would sit in the midfield, and then move to the left naturally. Timber would do that, but then he was just everywhere. He was everywhere. He was another creative spark and just a passing option up top. And it was just like, what is this guy about? He's like Kante. He's everywhere I look.
He's everywhere.
There's Yuri and Timber. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if it ain't enough to have Odegaard and Saka on that right hand side, to have that added bonus of now Timber, doing that like sort of triangle between the three of them, and you just don't know which one's going to overlap, drop inside, go into the box. Because Timber sometimes confuses me, because sometimes he does that little run with Odegaard that Saka does, and that sort of bamboozles the defence, because they think, where's he come from? So that's a plus for Arsenal as well. That's something Man United are probably going to have. That right outside for Arsenal tomorrow night is probably the one that's probably worrying Amberin the most, I would have thought, out of the whole areas of the pitch. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Because that's where everything sort of mostly comes from, and where our danger mostly sort of will I would have thought we'd get most joy from. But yeah, Timber, mate, I mean, unbelievable. Again, he was fantastic against West Ham, and hopefully he's just as good tomorrow.
Garth, where do you think, after seeing Amorim only for a few games now, where do you think your biggest threat's going to come from?
Own goals. You know what I mean? Quickly, just before we go over that, the next one to look out for coming. He's not as good as him, but I wouldn't surprise to see in the Premier League is Quinton Timber, his brother, twin brother.
Oh yes,
plays over at
plays more forward.
Feyenoord. He's a centre midfielder. He's a midfielder.
Yeah.
He's also got an older brother called Dillian Timber, but he's not of the same ilk at all. But Quinton Timber, he ain't the same gravy as Jurian, but I can easily see him going to a Villa and Everton, rubbish. But you know what I mean? Fighting for Europa League spots.
Like,
big club, Newcastle maybe, but anyway. But tomorrow. It really depends who we play. This is the thing. 3 games in, I still don't know. Rashford playing through the centre will be our best option because of his pace. But
scored 2 goals in the last game.
Yeah, 3 in the last 2 as well. So he got the opening goal in the 1-1 draw, didn't he? So the problem you've got there though is he doesn't have the hustle and bustle of a Zirkzee to deal with Saliba and Gabriel. Like if Gabriel played, you know what I mean? Like it's the same on Man United. We've got one player's got one good thing about him, but he needs 2 other bits that 2 other players have got. We just need to combine them all into one. So Bruno, obviously, always creatively a danger, especially if he's on form, in the mood, pinging balls over the top, etc., etc. Ahmed looking decent at the moment. And as much as I don't rate as high as everyone else, Garnacho seems to be on a bit of a scoring form if he plays. But I think it's going to be one of them games. I don't know if Amorim plays counter football. I haven't seen it like that because he's never had to really in Portugal. But we're gonna have to. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to rope a dope. Yeah, we're gonna have to have it. You know what I mean? Like soak up that pressure and hit you on the break because we can't go toe to toe with you at the moment. We can't. Like,
going off of what we saw when he was sporting manager, it wasn't counter. It wasn't rope a dope. It was very much they put it on us, and because they're a very technical team, they probably had the better of us over the two legs. It was a very difficult game, so I don't know how he's going to set up in this game. It's Man United. It's always a tough game. Yeah. I think it's going to be tight.
Yeah, I don't see the same. Yeah, I do think it's going to be tight, but I need to see the team. It really depends because if it is a back three of De Ligt, Martinez, Mazraoui with Dalot, like so Mazraoui, Martinez is playing the centre back, Dalot's playing in front of him on the left wing back position. I presume it's going to be that to counter your attacking threat down the right a little bit. I can't see Garnacho actually playing more. I think about it. I think you'll see Mount and Bruno. I reckon you'll see Rashford up top, Mount and Bruno behind, Dalot on the right, Ahmed on the right, Dalot on the left. I reckon you might see, as you've already said, what's his face is suspended. So it'll be Casemiro and Ugarte. No, can't be, can it? Yeah, okay, yeah. Casemiro and Ugarte in the centre, and then a back three of De Ligt, Martinez, and Mazraoui. And that team's reasonable. It's reasonable. But the thing is, you boys are, like I said, we can't go toe-to-toe.
Is Martinez fit? Is he playing tomorrow, Martinez?
I haven't heard he isn't, but it wouldn't surprise me. He's, you know what?
I think he's suspended.
Is he the other one suspended, is he? Right. Yeah, fair enough then. So then, so now you're getting Johnny Evans in there or Harry Maguire in a back three. Because you can't start Lenny Euro tomorrow. You can't start him tomorrow, can you? That's a brave move, that is, dropping him into that team tomorrow against Arsenal away. You know what I mean? But maybe, listen, if he's meant to be as good as he's meant to be, maybe. I personally wouldn't say. I'd have him on the bench. And I'd probably play... play Johnny Evans.
Yeah, it's Martinez and Mainu are suspended tomorrow. And Bruno Fernandes is back after he was taken.
I think like if just looking at it from a neutral point of view, from an Arsenal point of view, sorry. If I look at it, Bruno Fernandes is I always think can just, as I say, create something out of nothing. You never know what he's got to do. So he's someone that, sitting here at the minute, I'd be concerned about. But I think my main concern at the minute, I think if Arsenal have got a weakness, I'd say it was probably I'd worry most about on Arsenal's left-hand side. I think Martinelli or Trossard not the greatest at getting back. Martinelli's a little bit better, but I think with Ahmed on their right-hand side, Arsenal's left, I think him getting at possibly Calafiori or Zinchenko, I think that's a concern for me as we sit, because I think Ahmed's coming into a bit of form, and Zinchenko, if he uses his pace, I think he's quicker than what Calafiori and Zinchenko are. So that concerns me as I look at it now, that his pace could cause us problems down that right-hand side for Man United.
It'll be a big plus for us if Gabriel's out. It'll be a massive plus for us because we've got a small team. So your set pieces are going to be we've got a small team. Apart from De Ligt and Zertsky, the rest of the team is actually quite tiny. So, I'll be happy if he's out for that game.
Yeah, I think we'll probably have to wait for tomorrow.
We know Arteta. You can't take anything he says seriously until when it comes to his teams and who's injured until the moment
I think he'll play.
Mate, I think he would as well. He'll have a player walking in on crutches at some point, and a bandage around his head, looking sad, and then all of a sudden whips it off like Kaiser Sosa, and then starts playing.
Who was it who said
anything he can do?
At Man City, one of the Man City players said he used to have players that are playing who were injured, limp on crutches, before.
Yeah. Oh, is it 9?
Is it 9?
It's a little before. It's a little before 9.
Little before.
Yeah. Didn't put that money in early enough, Steve. Today, mate.
Right. Garth, give us your score prediction for the game.
52 minutes, mate. I'm going to be complaining.
Early the day, mate. Internet didn't let you have the full night of all 60. So.
That's because the Christmas tree's on in the background as well at the moment. Yeah, I mean, it's running up the meter.
Yeah, like Christmas tree.
Nice Christmas tree, mate. Mine ain't up yet because I'm lazy.
I didn't do it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying, Keir, what you asking, mate?
What's your score predictions for tomorrow then?
Oh, I'll give one, but I really need to see that team. If it's the strongest Man United team possible, apart from Martinez and God, I keep forgetting who you said else is suspended.
Mainu.
Yeah.
Sure.
If it's the strongest team, sure, yeah. I just don't count him anymore anyway, Steve. I reckon 1-1, possibly 2-1 Arsenal. But it also comes like if you get a couple of early goals, I mean, like the way you're rolling at the moment, you go 2-0 up inside the first 15. Ooh, I could see it being a problem for United. Like I could see it being a bad.
I think that's our best. I think that's our best hope is to absolutely demolish you in the first half, and then sit in and just see out the game. That's what we've been doing. That's where I've seen us be at our best. We was at our best the last 3 seasons when we've gone into these games, smashed teams in the first half, and just seen it out for the second half. It's generally quite. Not even frustrating or boring for the second half because like it's a good thing to see out games, but you do once you've hit 2 or 3 in the first half, you want to see more. But yeah, I think as we saw against West Ham, come out absolutely flying and try and get some early goals because I think you said in the last couple of games, Everton could have got a goal early. Ipswich in the same, and it's a new manager still learning his team. So I think we've got to take this opportunity while we can. Steve, what's your score prediction for the game? How do you think it's going to
go? Yeah, I mean, I've got to back Arsenal at home, haven't I? On the form we're in. I mean, I'd be silly not to. Although there is, an element of nervousness about playing Manchester United tomorrow. But yeah, look, I mean, you're right. I think we'll come out. I think we'll fly at Man United because that's what we do. We'll at home. We'll first 20 minutes. I think they'll have their backs to the walls, and hopefully we can get a couple of goals in that time. Man United, just have to probably hold on, and if they can do, they could get a result and they could get a draw. But as I say, I'm going to back up. We're at home. We have to win. Do you know what I mean? We can't.
Oh, you have to win, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
So with that in mind, I think normally when we have to win, we do. Yeah. Going back over the last 2 seasons, when we have to win, we do win. There's like really good mentality. So look, I don't think it'll be an Amorim.
I tell you what, Steve. I don't know how long you've been waiting for.
I haven't heard that one. No one.
Take a unbelievable. I'm at that age where I appreciate that kind of pantry.
Oh, dad jokes are the best, mate. Dad jokes are the best, bro.
Brilliant. Carry on. Stage yours, sir.
Yeah, so I don't think it'd be an Amorim, and I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1.
That's where I'm at. I think Arsenal will win. I'm hoping for the 1-0, obviously. I think a draw for Man United tomorrow is a massive result for us and says a lot. Yeah. And I think anything other than a win for you boys is it's not a disaster. It's not a disaster, but you just can't afford to drop any more points. It's like
we were saying earlier. Yeah. Said it yesterday. It's a mental thing. We need to be putting the pressure on Liverpool and their players who are going to be questioning themselves or questioning whether Arsenal can sustain this form, and we need to build that sort of consistency going forward. We need to bring the fans together again, and you can only do that by winning. And Arsenal need to do that. It does feel like they're back, and hopefully, Man United not going to derail that.
Who Liverpool got tomorrow?
I don't know, but I just want to say that Leicester are currently beating West Ham 1-0. Surely Julian Lopetegui is going to lose his job there. He's done. I don't know what teams seem to see in him since he's
Graham Potter, mate. Graham Potter.
Yeah, well, since his exit from Yeah, since his exit from the Spanish international team, he's pretty much gone downhill from there, not staying very long at Real Madrid. Then he went to Wolves and left his post there. And now at West Ham, he's kind of ruining his CV right now. You saying Graham Potter would go in at West Ham, Steve?
That'd be a fantastic manager.
Yeah, I think he's made for. I think Potter's made for West Ham. They're very. It's a big club, West Ham. No matter what, they won the European competition last year. I think Potter fits West Ham. I think he likes to play good football. I think if Potter, Brighton and West Ham, similar-ish. I think West Ham undoubtedly a bigger club than West Ham. So Brighton, but obviously Brighton been performing better than over recent, especially in the league. But yeah, I just think it's made for Potter. I think, and who else is out there as well? Do you know what I mean? There ain't many people left, so yeah.
And I'm sure his compensation's coming up to an end now, isn't it? Was he a 2 years compensation fully paid until he gets a new job? So
did he? I didn't know Potter. I did not realise that.
Yeah, they've got to pay out the rest of his contract, which is why he's not taking up a job. It's always it's got to be the right job. Yeah, no, I bet it does, mate, because you get paid 150 grand a week still.
Nice, yeah, nice. It's Newcastle. Liverpool got away tomorrow.
Yeah,
so a tough game for them. This is what I mean. I can see Newcastle win tomorrow. I really can. Newcastle win tomorrow, and then you need that 3 points of us. Then definitely. Man City got.
I don't want to hear that. Don't gas me up. Don't hype me up. Newcastle are not winning tomorrow.
That's what I said. Not an easy game. Tomorrow. Yeah, Man City.
There's no way Liverpool will drop points in Newcastle tomorrow.
They haven't got a chance, Newcastle. They'll never beat this Liverpool team.
Newcastle have been rubbish. They lost to West Ham.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, for a Wednesday night, there's a couple of decent fixtures on tomorrow, isn't there? Like a couple. Everton Wolves will be one of them games. It'll either be a 0-0 ball draw or one of them ridiculous frees that you're like, I'm not going to watch that. And then all of a sudden, it's just the goal going in.
Do you know? I quite like Wolves. They've got a fair few players in their team that are like players I like. Gomez, I like the midfielder. Cunha is a very good player. He's just one of them players that you need to keep on at. Like a bit like Mario, you need to keep on at him. The Sar's a very good player. Like they've got good players. Their Korean striker's like an honest striker. Like puts in a shift every game. Gets off. Like just they've got a nice team. They're just missing. A few
good manager as well, Gary O'Neill.
I like Gary O'Neill, and he's from our end as well, Garth. Isn't he? Gary O'Neill.
Is he? Yeah.
Where's he from? Cray Valley boy.
Is he? Oh, I did not know that. Fair play.
His dad, I think was a Portsmouth scout, or because getting into it, Ben Skinsley. But they used to play for
Millwall. Are you still now changing your? Are you changing your predictions now that Wolves won't go down? It sounds like you're sort of turning a little bit.
Did we do the?
Oh yeah. I think you did.
Because the transfers were
the worst transfer, wasn't it? It was.
That's what I said. Yeah, it's the worst transfer. And it was Wolves, Everton. I had Everton. Wolves were staying up. I said Everton were going down.
Everton were in trouble. We said that. Everton was trouble.
Yeah, maybe Wolves, but that would mean that I left.
I think we all said Wolves. I think we all said Wolves. Actually, to be fair, I think I did or not.
Yeah.
Ipswich, we said, would a buy-in to come back up. They're in preparation for going down. So we said Ipswich. Yeah. Southampton, we said. So it would have been. I think we said Leicester will stay up.
Yeah, it was Everton for me. Yeah.
I said Wolves, Southampton, and Ipswich.
Well, that's what it is at the moment. Everton on 17 with 11 points, and then you've got Crystal Palace on 16 12 points.
He just got out of it. They literally, the last game brought them out of relegation. Like they were in 18th before that. Like they're not doing well. They've got one of the teams, ain't they, where the good players that did well last year are just not performing this year. Mateta, I mean, how's he scored this year? 1, 2? Has he?
Eze's been injured. They've lost Elise and brought in Eddie Nketiah. He hasn't scored yet. Nope. No.
Yeah, listen, because he's like, I know that when he's your boy, you love him. But I said to my father-in-law was a massive Palace fan. I was like, oh, that's just like as a backup striker, yeah, decent-ish. But if you're looking for him to bag you 12, 15 a season, mate, I'm sorry, like it just ain't the man for me. He never was the man for me. Like he only ever seemed to score against Man United for some reason. It's because I hated him. That's why.
The score tonight.
Sweet, fair play.
away
But
trips.
it's looking very well. Yeah, they need to pick up because otherwise they're going to get left behind. They'll be like
and I hope that they're not going to be this team that's going to end up in a relegation battle but still win a cup, because Arsenal have got Crystal Palace in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup on the 18th of December, which would be a good game leading up to Christmas. Looking forward to that one. Probably get to see the likes of Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly involved in that game as well. Before we go, I want to check on a few transfers, a little bit of transfer news that's coming today. Steve, you dropped an exclusive earlier. Arsenal had reached out to the representatives of Rafael Leão. Nothing with regards to AC Milan, but just putting the feelers out to whether Leão would be interested in a move to Arsenal. Nothing in the January, but something potentially in the summer. You got more on that story? Or I just literally told everything there?
You literally just said
like, cheers, kids. What are you doing here?
I know you've read the article now, so at least that's something. People just normally read the headline and and then don't read the article. But it's pretty much that, mate. There's starting to be a few, feelers, things are going around that he could leave, and there's a couple of teams now, starting to put the feelers out, and I've heard that one of them is Arsenal, and he is something that could happen in the summer, although he's, at the moment he's just concentrating on AC Milan for the rest of the season. The Arsenal haven't had any contact with AC Milan. But this is something that's, come from a really good source. And, it starts to make you think, because he's predominantly left wing. What that means for the futures of, if you've read I did state, what is the future, for Gabriel Martinelli and Leonardo Trossard, and who knows? But, talks are sort of planned to carry on in the summer, so he's someone who's looking that we could bring in then, and also Nico Williams is also someone now that's now sort of what you sort of hearing little things around that now he's more sort of inclined to leave Bilbao in the summer. So and he was adamant that he didn't want to go anywhere in the like summer gone. So he's going to be another one. So we're starting to see some big players, and I think like maybe not January, but there's going to be the summer window. I think there's going to be some big players on the market, that clubs could want. But again, like two really good players there, Leo and Williams. But again, not to come off the Arsenal side of it. Again, not right-sided players, and not for Liverpool, because they're won't be for them. So they'll have to continue looking if they need someone to replace their main man.
All right. And Roberto Alabe, the former Real Sociedad sporting director, linked with Arsenal. Advanced talks was happening earlier on in the week, wasn't it? But stories that keep on popping up from this one is the links to Alexander Isak. 2 + 2 making 10 here. I'm guessing people love to do this as soon as there's some like, oh, my mate bought a dog off of Isak and he supports Arsenal, so he's going to have a word with Isak to get him to sign, like all these sorts of things.
Yeah. I mean, when the summer comes round, I mean, Arsenal may well, be in for Isak, but Isak's got to be around about 50 million for Arsenal to entertain it, because they'll just go and get Sesko, who I know Arsenal love. I know Man United are also interested in Sesko as well. So Arsenal may have a fight in their hands. But it's the guy. There are. I mean, I don't know about advanced or anything like that, but I do know that there's definitely been talks. And he was the guy that brought in Alexander Isak, and it's got Arsenal supporters excited. And we'll have to wait and see on that one. But just one, one of, I think it's 3 sort of sporting directors that Arsenal have now made contact with. It's Campos, Gross, and now Obalade. Alabe.
So people want to talk about the Isaks they put in. Have they looked at any other signings that he's made? Like,
the flops.
Yeah, it's
but that's what they do. They harp on that, don't they?
Yeah, it's easy to look at the stars that they've brought in, but are you looking at the other players that he's brought in? How the success of the club since he's brought those players in? What the sell-on fees were for those players that didn't quite make it into the team? What the losses like? These are the things you probably need to start looking at, and not just links to players that you like. Because I know, as we see it, and it's usually on X, or I don't know, I can't believe I said X. I'm going to give myself 20 lashes for that. Twitter. Yeah, it's always on Twitter. The clubs, these fans have certain players they seem to like, certain want to go for, and immediately, if there's any sort of tangible link, any sort of, it can be weak, could be the weakest link ever, they will go and scramble around and say, look, this is what I've been saying for the last 3 years. Arsenal want Isaac, and they just keep regurgitating the same story. Is there actually any legs in this Isaac story, Steve? Is Isaac actually a player that Arsenal are interested in, or do you see them going for someone a little bit different? So, like, can you see Arsenal bringing in an Isaac when you've got Kai Havertz up top? Do you see them doing that?
No, I mean, look, Arsenal like Isaac. There's no doubt about it. And Arteta is a fan of Isaac. That's for sure, because we nearly bought him. You know, we nearly bought him when he was at
Sociedad.
Yeah, we become very close. You know, Arteta, Arteta don't just, when Arteta, goes for a player or he finds a player, he generally sort of keeps on at that player. At the time, the release clause Sociedad was something ridiculous, and it was just
70.
too much. Yeah, and they tried to get it down, and they just wouldn't, because like I said before, release clauses ain't binding. You can have a chat, and Isaac said, well, I'm happy or whatever to do whatever he did, and he stayed, and I think he went to Newcastle the following season. So
they paid the release fee, didn't they? They paid the 70 mil for him.
Yeah. But Arsenal wasn't willing to at the time, and we moved on.
Rightly so. I was about to say, listen, anyone who spends 120 million pounds on Isaac is outright batshit, because he's not worth that money. He's a good player, but and they ain't budging on that 120 mil. You may be able to get it down a little bit, but you're talking 100 mil. For Alexander Isaac, I'm sorry, mate. No. I know we spent 70 on Højlund.
I agree.
But you're a madman. If you're an absolute madman,
and he gets injured, mate. He gets injured a lot.
I looked into his record, and he actually doesn't. Because I thought the same thing, Steve. I literally thought that he's injured a lot, and then you look at it, he doesn't miss that many games. Actually, it's weird. I think he's one of them players. I think it's odd. There's no games about. It does get injured. It doesn't miss games as much.
Little niggles, isn't it? Little niggles. Yeah. Got a niggle. But it's the money. See, Arsenal ain't paying that money. And again, if Isaac decides that he might be happy at Newcastle, he might be happy there, and he's happy to stay. But there is a chance that release clause come down, because you can put pressure on the board to bring down that release clause if so. Is
that a release clause with Isaac? I thought that's just the value they've got on him. Is that an actual release clause? With Isaac?
Sorry, the value. Yeah, the value. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with Gyorikes now.
And of course, yeah.
So, but
it's his release clause. How much is Gyorikes' release clause in the summer when that comes? It's like,
well, I think I spoke to someone the other day, and I'm pretty sure that Gyorikes could leave Sporting Lisbon to around about 58 million.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like this, I don't think Gyorikes is as good as everyone else does, and I think he might struggle in the Premier League, personally. But, 60 mil for him or 120 for Isaac, I know where I'm putting my money. I know where I'm putting my money.
Yeah.
So.
Portugal, if you're a top striker in Portugal, you want to go to the best league at 26 years old, and you're putting pressure. And look, they'll be happy. They'll be happy that another player who's starting to again, Arsenal connected. We'll have. I don't know too much about how what's going to happen. Maybe I can find that in next week or so. But similar to Leão, similar to Gyorikes, similar to Nico Williams, another player who's now all of a sudden out of the blue decided that I might want to leave now in the summer, is Martin Zubimendi. So they're racking up. They're racking up these players now, and I think all of a sudden, it could be a really big summer.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a busy summer for a fair few teams. Man United going to be sniffing around.
Yeah, are you at that stage? I was about to say this. I forget you were talking about like what do you do with ex-player at Arsenal? It was the wingers, Martinelli and Trossard. At this stage of your cycle, if you're good enough to go and get a Rafael Leão or a Nico Williams, you have to be cool, calm, and collected, and just drop these players. Because Rafael Leão and Nico Williams are superior players to what you've got. You know what I mean?
It's who you're dropping.
I think the most money you're going to get is Martinelli, isn't it? But that's obviously the risk you're taking is letting him go because he's got the potential to be there. But yeah, even Marino, being there, bringing Zubimendi, replace him. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, it's just this is how the cookie crumbled sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and with Martinelli, it's one of them things. It's like, do you know in the background how high his bar is? What are people going to get out of him? And then you look at Trossard, you see, okay, well Trossard has played that position where he's been a rotation squad player.
Exactly,
that's where the numbers on the board.
Yeah,
like he's aging a little bit more, so he's going to probably be a bit like he's not going to be pushing for that. I need to start or kicking up a stink. But then again, you've got to take in the mentality of what and the temperament of what Trossard is like as well. And you've seen in recent games where he seems very upset that he's not playing, scoring, but not celebrating. He is annoyed that contract situation's coming up now. So yeah, it's a tough one.
Before I wrote that, the article on Leo, I spoke to a few people. You know that we got some close. We know some close people to Italy who know the Italian football, and I asked about Leo and what sort of player with him. And like Garth said, he's a different quality. He is powerful. He's quick.
He's very powerful.
Yeah, but the thing that the I think 3 people said to me is that he's very good in Serie A, but he's made for Premier League. He's made for Premier League. He's big. He's powerful to defend. You can't knock him off the ball.
He did.
He's just got everything. All the
because I wasn't too sure of him, and you were saying I think you've watched him in games when he's just not performing, and it is. When you look at his Champions League record, and I think it is in those games because I don't really watch Syria, so I've watched him in the Champions League. I've watched him. I thought he did well in certain games in the Euros. Some I wasn't really too impressed, but I think it's that. I think he's at that point where he needs to then take that step up now. He needs to change a league. Different style of football, different manager.
The other thing with that is he can play centre forward. Don't forget that he can play centre forward. Like not as great as the wing.
Big, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's played a number of games at centre forward, man. But I mean, just at AC Milan, 227 games, 62 goals, 55 assists. You know what I mean? So 117 goal contributions in 227 games. Like, he's
Debbie, I love you, mate.
When he plays bad, he plays terrible. Like, he's one of them players. We've all known, but that's one every 5. You know what I mean? He's a very effective player. He'll put numbers on the board for you. I'd never have a Nico personally. Nico Williams. If you want to choose between the two.
Yeah, and on Isaac, I was just looking at his injury record. I think it may have been last season where it sort of tainted our views. Like he had a good season last season where he got around 20 plus goals. But he's scored a couple, went a couple without scoring, but then he scores back games, 3 games in a row, then has a groin injury out for 3 games, comes back, scores a goal, doesn't score for a couple of games, scores 3 games in a row, has a groin injury, misses, comes back, doesn't score, scores the next 4 in a row, gets a brace in one of them as well, and he's just on a scoring record. So it may have been last season where he's playing well, scoring goals, and then he's not about for the next few weeks, and you're like, he's never about. He seems to be scoring, but then he's never about. So it's probably that.
He does get niggles, but I was exactly so because I was literally about to say like when we were talking about Isaac a couple of weeks ago, I was about to be like he's injured, like, and then I looked into it, I was like, like he is, but it's not like you said. It's not like he's out for like he's not Luke Shaw or Mason Mount. You know, I mean, like he's not out all the time, but he that groin thing at 25 may be something to worry about, you know what I mean? So that medical team may have to do a deep investigation into why are you picking up groin strains every 4 or 5 games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and he's got a pretty good record at Newcastle as well so far, with 47 goal contributions in 80 games as well. So
I mean, on Martinelli,
is that what he's actually got? Oh, all right, I'll have to reevaluate my position on Isaac. You know, he's still ain't 120, but
I mean, on Martinelli, I mean, there's the saying, isn't there? There's no smoke without fire. I mean, you only have to look at players at Arsenal have been interested in that I know are concrete interests. Alex Briana of Villarreal has been looked at closely. I know obviously Arsenal have, already sort of like would be ready to sort of pay the release clause to Nico Williams. We're now hearing about Rafael Leão. They're all players that play on that left side of Arsenal. So, taking all that into consideration, you do have to start,
thinking that
maybe having a conversation about what Arteta feels that's missing with Gabriel Martinelli. Now, look, ever since he's came to the club, we've seen Gabriel Martinelli just go up and up and up and up and up until last season, where he's probably his first bad season since he's been at the club. So we was willing to give him a pass on that. This season, he hasn't really got going again. He struggled to try. It's
still not the same. It's still not the same. It's annoying because you can see what he can do, but then you look at a player like Rafael Leão, and you look at Martinelli's best attributes. His best attributes are his pace, his powerful, direct running at goal, and then you're looking at what Leão does, and he does that at a pomp. That's his game.
Now, I mean, look, it could be similar.
He's more developed than Martinelli as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could put a little bit. I mean, it could be similar situation to when we bought Zinchenko and Jesus, for instance. They came to Arsenal and we needed them to get us to a certain level. So they have got us to that certain level. Yeah, and now at the moment, it's they've turned into squad players. Yeah, where both of those players at one point were regulars for Man City in their team. And regulars for Arsenal and that team. But now it seems that Arsenal have gone to another level where they need a step up. So, but similar to the Martinelli thing, we've looked over like the last season and this season. Does Mikel Arteta feel that now there needs to be an upgrade on Martinelli, and similar to the Ramsdale Raya thing, and maybe even similar to the Timber Ben White thing. Maybe he sees that little thing where Tim White's that little slightly a bit better, but he's willing to think that could take us to a next level. Leo will take Martinelli.
The only difference I would say...
See what he's doing. Do you know what I mean?
The only difference I would say was the Ben White thing is there's room for Ben White in this team.
I think there's room for Martinelli, mate. I'm not saying
I just don't know. If you're looking at bringing a Leão in, they're not too far off a similar age. You're looking to then get money back in that you're going to try and purchase Leão with. I think Garth's right in saying that Martinelli would be the one you're going to get the most money for. We only paid 20 mil for Trossard. We're not going to get that back for him.
It's not just that Martinelli. He's 23. If you bring in a Leão Williams, you're now second choice if you're Martinelli. And if you keep Trossard as well, you're now fighting for second place. If he's got anything about him, he'll be like, I've got to go. I've got to go. I love Arsenal. I love Arsenal. I love the fans. But I can't be backup. I can't be I've had bad form, but I'm a first team player. So, but he might, but like you said, Steve, he's not first team for you at the moment. If you get a Leão in, because you're taking that step up again, At
the same time, I do want to say that I'm not doubting that Martinelli could not step it up and go again.
No, but I think there's got to be a certain element that Arsenal have to play on that. Arsenal's Mikel Arteta is sitting for 4 or 5 years now. He knows what Martinelli's about. In his head, he knows where Martinelli can go if he's at his best. Yeah. So if he's other people don't. There's still that air of Martinelli about what's happened with Martinelli. He's a baller. He could be this. He can still be that. We've got to play on that. We should be looking at 40, 50 million for a Martinelli. Because of what
just so you know, transfer market has got him at 60 mil. They've got him valued there.
And that's what I think you should be trying to push for. Because there's that air of on his best day, he's unstoppable. And Serie A, Spain, they could really benefit from a player like Gabby Martinelli. Even a club like Bayern Munich, where they've got very direct players, and they'd be able to get him. I think that teams in Germany would probably be able to get more out of him because there's the different type of football. Because it's similar to ours, but they're a bit more technical. So I think they would be able to get more out of him.
Look what Sancho did out there. Look what Sancho did. I think Bayern Munich, honestly, I was about to say, of all of them, Bayern Munich, if Martinelli went there, I could see, because he's a good player. But he ain't that next level up at the moment.
Yeah,
So.
my only
Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, Martinelli, I think will be the guy.
But my only worry is if like, okay, I'm looking at Leo coming in, Martinelli staying, and then the two fighting for the place. You know, that's what title winning. I mean, if we did sell Martinelli, like you say, and then where does that leave? For me, that just leaves us where we started from, because now we've bought. Yeah, but
I know what you're saying, Steve, but you're not Man City, man. You don't have that fundage for a start. You don't have that recent success. Apart from Man City, no one else can do that, man. No one else can have two Chelsea could have got so much money, but two first-team players as rotation options.
Well, Man City
apart
can't
from
even do it. Julian Alvarez. Look at Julian Alvarez.
Exactly.
Look at Cancelo. They can't do it. It's very hard for them to do it. They've had to do it by bringing in players like Kovacic to be back up to Rodri. And look at where they are now. We need to do it. So we've got a player who is not comfortable with sitting on the bench, but wants to play, but understands that
knows his role.
Knows his role. Knows his role. Yeah. Honestly, if Arteta played it better,
that's not Trossard. That's not Trossard.
It is.
More than Martinelli, surely.
He never stops moaning. He never stops moaning. He don't.
Yeah, but Steve, he's coming in scores. Martinelli is not coming in when he's being asked to and doing the business.
Age, 30 years old, coming up.
Yeah, well then.
Yeah, but everything you're saying backs up what me and Sakir saying. You're getting no money for Trossard. And you need that money coming back in.
But I still don't think Martinelli's the guy. I think then you go and get. Then you've got
a Premier League, and then you'll have the money.
Then you've got a youngster that comes in. You've got an up and coming that comes in, and there's players that are around that are top up and coming players that you could come in. Look at we've just seen. Is it Bradley Bakura from Paris Saint-Germain? There's no stopping us from getting a player like that before he's that player.
I've already looked
and there's players there.
No chance.
No, I'm not saying but I'm not saying him.
Example.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying him. I'm saying as an example, there are players that are of that ilk that aren't established names that Arsenal can come in and bring. Arsenal got in a Martinelli. Look what he done in his first season at Arsenal. Like there are players out there that can be those understudies for these teams, for these players. And it doesn't necessarily have to be next season either. If you are, Trossard could do it for another season or two. There's no reason why he can't. He's a cultured winger. He's not there for his pace. He's there for he's smart. It's his guile that he's there for.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Martinelli would want to leave anyway. I'm
not writing Martinelli off, but I'm saying if we're going to get a Leão in, I think it's curtains for him.
For me,
even if it's not immediately, Steve, there's no way because Leao's that good that you'll see Martinelli's minutes decreasing. Like so, after a year of it, he's got like unless he is happy, and he might, but you never know. He may be happy to stay as a backup player.
You know what he spoke. I'm not leaving Arsenal. We're going to stay at Arsenal. I don't care
because we gave him a chance. Because we gave him a chance, but I don't know whether that's helping his development. Like, how good is he doing at the moment where he's not getting as much game time as possible? I don't know.
But what you said yesterday doesn't mean it's what you mean tomorrow. Like, bottom line, like just because he said like we see it with footballers all the time. They will say that at the time, but bottom line is it's a business. Arsenal may want to move him on. Arsenal may not give him any choice. Arsenal might say, "Listen, we've been bid 55 mil for you, mate. You're out the door. We've got Rafael." Like it happens. Like I like Martinelli, and I know your trepidation, Steve. I get it because Trossard is not Martinelli.
No, yeah.
If you're bringing in a Leão or Nico Williams, you don't need Martinelli anymore. That's the long and short of it.
Arsenal can't buy both for them, can they?
No, one. I said if you're bringing in one of them, that's what I'm saying. If you're bringing in a Williams or a
you don't need Martinelli. My point is, whoever it may be, if you're bringing in a Leão, right, you've got to have some top class replay. If you're in a situation where you're going for Premier League titles and you're going for Champions League, which we're as Arsenal fans, that's what we want to do, right? You can't have just one player and an average one waiting even if he gets injured, or you can't.
Oh, I just you think Trossard's average, do you? But isn't Trossard doing better than Martinelli at the moment? Isn't he being more effective than Martin? Yeah.
Right now, I start Trossard over Martinelli. Right now, I do. On
Yeah,
this.
it's only a couple of weeks ago.
want-
It's only a couple of weeks ago. You boys were talking about starting Sterling over Martinelli, and that
No,
was literally a conversation we were having. You know what I mean? So I know what you're saying, but yeah, if you get
I
him,
love
what I mean.
Martinelli.
You
I
got
don't
to cut
want.
exactly. You got to cut ties with people you love. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Like
You're
I know where
you're
you're coming
asking
from.
me. You're asking me my personal opinion, right?
Yeah.
And my personal opinion is if Leo came in, right, my hope would be that Martinelli stays. Now you can all surmise.
I would love for that.
I'm
to
saying,
happen.
You can all
Yeah,
surmise
yeah.
what he want to do and what he might want to do. You know, we don't know what he wants to do. We don't know what Arteta would want him to do. He might come in. Look at Thomas Partey. He was finished, absolutely crap. You know, get rid of him. You know, Mikel Mourinho came in. Oh, that's it. He's gone. Been our best
Yeah,
player
that was
this
short-sighted.
season.
That was short-sighted because I looked into Mikel Mourinho a while
You know,
ago, and
so-
anyone who was thinking he was going to replace Thomas Partey hadn't done any research on him because
It's not
he's
like
that
it's not
player.
like Martinelli's falling off a cliff. That's what I'm saying. And
No,
I'm
but
just
Martinelli
he
has
hasn't.
fallen off a cliff, ain't he?
No,
Like, compared to what
he
he was.
hasn't. He's this season he's been better than last
fair
season, but
He's
that doesn't take much.
I'm
But
just looking at standards, Garth. You know, when you look at the standard you expect from Martinelli.
He's standing in comparison to last season.
That doesn't mean he's better than the most.
In an ideal world, you'd have both of them. You'd have Leão and Martinelli. But from
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
100%.
What I'm saying, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is, I have disagree with you. I can't see that happening. In any world, does Martinelli want to be a backup player, knowing
Nobody
he's got
does,
one of the best
Garth.
winners?
Nobody
Exactly.
does.
But he's good enough to move to a top club. And that's the difference. He's got options. It ain't a player who's going to have to get his agent to go out there and really hustle for a deal.
As soon as Arsenal bring in Leão, people are going to be like, "So what are you doing?"
People are going to be on the phone about him, mate. So he's a good, great player, and it's a dangerous option as well because he could go on to become very good. But that's the gamble you've got to take, innit? That's what I mean. In the position
in an ideal
now,
world,
it's all gambles. Yeah.
In an ideal world, I would love to have a Leão and Martinelli. I just
100%. It'd be awesome.
But you look at Man City and Liverpool; they've got. You look at the.
No, I know. I think Man City did. I don't think Liverpool ever have. Like I can't remember a Liverpool team where they've had a Salah and someone behind Salah who's near enough as good as Salah.
Salah.
Okay.
It's like saying Odegaard, isn't it?
Gakpo and someone near enough as good as Gakpo. They've got so behind Gakpo they've got a Harvey Elliott. Behind Nunez they've got a Jota. So it's all relevant. These players are, if close, if not the same. So if they was to bring in a Haaland up front, is Darwin Nunez going to stay? He's going to be like, what? Nah, Jota might stay, but Darwin Nunez won't stay. Like, and I think that's what I'm getting at. I would love Martinelli to stay with Leão because we're making our squad better, we're making our team better.
Yeah,
but
the
reality of it is, you're talking about two very young players who are very, very good. One of them has the potential to be a star. The other one's showing a bit more potential at the moment. How does the other one, who has the potential to be a star, develop still? How does he get that game time? He's not being played up front as well. And I think that's the problem with Martinelli. Or it's not Martinelli's problem. Maybe it's Arteta's problem. He doesn't have any other position. He doesn't. So
on the flip side, what
not too long flip side. We're well over 1 hour and a half.
Yeah, but what? So we're saying if Ben White turned around and said, "Oh fuck it, I ain't being no understudy to Timber, I'm leaving." Is that what we want then?
That's not what you want.
That's not what we want. But you could have Steve, because I already said. Ben White was a bad analogy for you because I even said it earlier with regards to Ben White and Dewey and Timber is that Ben White stays because he can play different positions. And I just said Martinelli only plays one position. This isn't me. Yeah. This is what I just we've seen it many times in the past. We've seen it many times in the past.
But you've got to take into other things like internationals as well. Martinelli wants to be in that Brazil team.
Look at Since his performances. Calafiori's coming. Look at him the other day. I want two players two top players in every position. If you're going for a title, or if you're going. That's ridiculous to say that.
No one's got that. No one's got it. No one's got it. It's not that you don't want it.
No one said we don't want it.
You're talking about a magical land. A magical land. No team has got that. No, Man City haven't got that. Look at the team they put out against Liverpool the other day. They had Rico Lewis in it. They got a 33-year-old Gundogan in there. Like they haven't got.
We're talking about what? How many positions you going? We're going into different positions now. We're talking about the Martinelli position.
All right, so
Man City have got Foden. Man City have got Foden who can play there.
You said every position, Steve. You said every position. You said you wanted two top players in every position. So I'm wearing my rights to use examples of other positions.
Ideally, you want two top players in every position.
But I think you're getting this twisted, Steve, because I've not said we have to sell Martinelli. No one said that. I've said the likelihood is that if we get in Leão, we'd sell Martinelli. Because it's very hard to keep hold of someone who's a similar age and is of similar quality in that team and keep them happy, especially when it's of a young age. That's what I'm saying. The likelihood is that you're more likely to keep the older one because they've got an understanding, as Garth was saying, they know their role. Trossard is a little bit different because of his attitude. However, he was getting into 30. He's going to know his role in the team the same way as Jorginho knows his role in the team. Now, you're only dropping the quality slightly different, and it's a different type of player. But Jorginho knows that he's going to come in this game and he might not play the next 4.
The majority of teams, right, who are going for titles or winning titles have got 2 players in every position. Everyone.
You've changed it. You changed it now to 2 players.
Everyone.
You said 2 top players.
Everyone.
You're saying that they haven't, Steve. I'm sorry, man. I just looked at that Liverpool squad. They haven't got 2 top players in every position. Man City, right now, the best team in Europe for the last 5 years, don't have 2 players, top ballers in every position. They just don't. Man United don't have top players in one position.
For 13 years they have. They've had top players in every position. But that's 13 years. You're picking out 1 year. You're picking out 1 year.
You're picking out one team. The one team that you can pick out. The one team, no other team in the history of football can do it. Even the Real Madrid Galacticos haven't got 2 players in every position that are top ballers, man.
They had Jesse, didn't they? From that,
Do you think I'm saying that they're the same? Is that where you're thinking? Are you telling me that I'm telling you they've got to be the same? Exactly the same players in every. Come on.
Martinelli's too good to. You haven't listened to it. Martinelli is too good to be a backup player. That's what it is. If you bring in Leão or Nico Williams, they're not rotation. They are first team. First team, minimum 40 games a season. That means Martinelli is down to 22 games a season, sub appearances. He's 23 with an international career on the line, and he wants first team football. I'm sorry, mate. I know we disagree, but that is just you're living in a dream.
Do
you think you can? Or Martinelli's not as good as I think he is. If Martinelli is willing to be a reserve player to Leão or Williams, you don't want him in your team, mate, because that ain't the attitude you want of a winner.
You've got to be mad.
If you're happy to be a reserve player, you're saying that's good mentality. You're happy to be a reserve player when you're as good as Martinelli.
If it is, I'm not his dad. I'm not in his brain. I'm not a psychic. I can't
we're hypothesizing, Steve. We're hypothesizing. You can take a stab at it. Do you think a player as good as Martinelli is happy to play 25 games a season and be back up to Rafael?
I hope so, Garth. I'd like him to be, because that would be good for Arsenal.
Yeah, of course but that's what you're saying. It's a fantasy.
I don't think he will be. I don't think he will be happy to.
Well, I'm not. As I say, I'm not. I can't read his mind. But personally, as a fan, I don't know where you're going off in this thing. I would love if Leo came in and took that place, for the 2 of them to fight for the place. I don't know where you're taking it on to some other level. What is so wrong about
because you keep saying that every team needs to have 2 top players. You keep saying every team has to have 2 top players, and that's just not true. It's just not true, man.
I think it's just not true. It would be a lot of teams that win titles in championship leagues, and most of the time they've got their benches, they bring them on, and it's like, wow, they're bringing him on the bench. Oh, he's come over for him. It doesn't make that lot of difference.
But
you're mad if you think you're mad.
Bayern Munich have got what's his face up front as the backup striker. Who's the geezer there? That's the backup striker. The geezer played at Stoke.
Yeah.
He's the best of all time.
Where was he at?
Yeah, what you're saying is, what I'm trying to say is Martinelli. I know what you're saying, Steve, but you're not listening.
I don't think you do, Garth.
Is not good enough.
Know what I'm saying.
Martinelli's not good enough.
I don't think you do.
Martinelli's too good. Look, I do, Steve. You're just wrong.
You don't.
Because name me another team like Man City that's 2 top players in every position. Go on.
Well, I think Liverpool.
No,
Liverpool have.
I think
not.
Liverpool. Let's go through the team, shall we?
No, there's a difference between having a strong bench and having 2 strong players in every. Not even 2 strong.
On that left-hand side for Arsenal, this is the Arsenal show, right? On that left-hand side for Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan, if Leo come in, I would love 2 players. Arteta has said plainly that he wants 2 top players in every position. To go forward. Now, if Arteta says it, I said it. Garth, if you want to distree with what I say, what Arteta says, and what other people want, then fine.
From the start, I said, I would love to have a Leão.
That's all we're saying.
No, but you said that.
But yes, but then you.
No, it's not. Because when I say he's going to leave,
I cannot see it. I cannot see it.
Well, fine, you don't see it.
It's like saying.
What's wrong with me saying it?
It's like saying
nothing. Says it. Is he wrong?
Nothing is wrong with you saying it.
I know.
Nothing is wrong with you saying it. Watch this back. This has got to this point for no reason. Nothing. Look. Yeah, this is
what's so wrong about me wanting 2 players on one side?
This is no different. Yeah, from David Raya coming in and Aaron Ramsdale sitting on the bench.
Exactly. Timber and White.
You look at it. You look at it in the start.
And Marino.
But that's different. That's different. You look at it for the start.
Martinelli and Leo. What's so wrong?
Yeah, no, that's different. You look at it for the start, and you like, who's the first team goalkeeper? Okay, it's David Raya. Well, how many games is Ramsdale going to get? In an ideal world, we'd love to have 2 top goalkeepers of this ilk.
Yeah, but it's different for each position, isn't it?
It's different. Yes, it is different. It is different.
What
it also boils down to is the versatility of that player as well. And right now, Martinelli is only playing in one position. That seems to be his problem. He is only playing in one position. Like I said, in an ideal world, I would love to have Rafael Leão and Gabby Martinelli in that same squad. And I said the same thing as well. But the difference is I caveated it by saying I cannot see that because of the age of Martinelli.
Yeah.
And the fact that
I said
I think the likelihood is that they would sell and cash in on the one who would get more money for.
And I've said, going by Martinelli's personality and what he says and what Arteta wants, and of the age of Martinelli, and every Arsenal fan, there's nothing more than everybody wants connected to Arsenal is to have Leo and Martinelli fighting for that space and playing the odd Champions League game, one playing this, one playing the, and going back and forth. Trossard's 30, 31. You're going to want the 2-1 to say. Because, for what reason? Because you want 2 top players playing in the same position.
And that's what we come back to. You keep doing this, Steve. You keep making a good argument and then end it with the 2 top players, which is nonsense. No team has that. And that's where this argument started. Your main point, it would be lovely to have 2 players of that quality in one position.
It's Cody Gakpo, good top player.
Top player? No.
Oh, see, Garth, you take the words into like really deep context. Is he a good player? Is he a big player? Is he really player?
Is he a good player? Yes. Is he a big player? No.
Yeah, but he's a good player. He's good player on the bench, isn't he? Yeah, but he's good, isn't he, Gakpo?
But Gakpo, what? I don't know where I'm going with this. What?
Because Diaz is the other one. So they've got Diaz and they've got Gakpo fighting for that position, yeah?
Yeah.
That's not the same as Leão and Martinelli. That's not the same as Leão and Martinelli.
I think they're closer.
It's exactly the same.
They're so different. Leão and Nico Williams are 2 of the best left wingers in the world right now. They are not coming in to any club under the caveat of, by the way, you're fighting for your position. Apart from maybe Real Madrid.
Well, let me tell you something, right? If Arteta comes into that and it means Martinelli leaving, he's not coming.
Well, there you go.
Because you've got to be, because by your fault, Garth, that's ridiculous because managers do not think that way, right? They do not buy someone in to sell another one and to leave them weaker.
Really? Because what happened to Aaron Ramsdale? Because Rail's been to replace Ramsdale and so is the position man. All right. So what's happening to Ben White right now?
Of course it does.
Right, you're saying he ain't go.
Of course it does.
All right. So what's happening to Ben White right now? Why is he not playing?
Yeah, because Ben White that's a position where it's quite an important position in Arsenal's team.
I don't think.
I'm not saying he's going. I'm not saying he's going, but to act like you don't buy players to bring in to replace the player in that position already because the next one's better. Steve, come on, man. That is literally what managers do. That's literally what managers do.
Look, every player might turn around and say, I've got different ways of thinking, right? Ben White, Martinelli, Zinchenko might turn around. Other players have come into Arsenal and they could have turned around and said, bollocks to you, right? I'm going. Yeah. Martinelli might bring Leão in. Martinelli might go, bollocks to you. Ben White hasn't. Zinchenko hasn't. Thomas Partey hasn't. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
That Martinelli this season.
Because you've got all.
Yeah, but that's fine. The hope bit, Steve. This is what you're not listening to. The hope bit is fine. I agree with you. I would love for you to. Well, I wouldn't because it's Arsenal. It would be great if you had two players. But when you finish it with every team has two top players in the team, that's just not true. And the bottom line is Martinelli, in my opinion, is far too good to be a backup player, and Rafael Leão is far too good to be a rotation option.
Every team who's going for titles and champions, every team who's going for a title in the Champions League, right? If you want to try get me for words, mate, that's fine. But every manager wants two players. I changed my words, Garth, right? Of top quality, Premier League, going for title experience in their teams, right? I'll change my wording if that helps everybody, right? And if Arsenal can do that with Ben White, Calafiori, if Leo comes in, Martinelli with Calafiori, Zinchenko with Partey, that's all it is. They might all turn around at the end of the season and say, "Fuck you, I'm not staying here no more because I don't want to fight for my place." Martinelli could say it. So that's it.
Yeah, with them things, I think I think you've got a season. You've got a season to show these people how much game time they get. After that, I think you've got people kicking up.
Yeah.
But I think you've seen that with Trossard. I think you've seen that with Zinchenko. Yeah. You've seen it with players, with Jesus. You've seen it. You've got that season, and I guarantee next season, they're going to be like, what's going on with me?
I'm looking at it from a manager's point of view. If I'm Mikel Arteta and I bought Leão, do I want Martinelli to stay?
Yes.
Of course, yeah. We never disagreed with
that. Is it. Thank you. That's all it is. That's it. We finish it there.
That's
honestly, no one ever disagreed with that point, mate. Just saying, no one disagreed with that point.
No,
but then it goes into other things but that's from the beginning. That's my only point. That's it. Yeah. That's it. And then
it'd be lovely for you. It'd be lovely.
We want the best of the best. All right. Yeah. What a show. It was meant to be a quick one. I was shutting down.
You're shit, you are. We are outlining you tonight.
I did the transfer bit at 10-9. It's now 1:45. That transfer bit was to finish the show.
I've got to go. I'm meant to go and pick the missus up at 10 o'clock.
What's to finish the show, people?
I feel like my invite is not getting back on here. I've got a feeling that
you're welcome back anytime.
I'm saying this is going to be a friendly one.
You're welcome back anytime. Yeah,
it's all friendly. It's all love. But yeah, no.
Friendly fire.
I've got me calf.
Oh, it's been another hour.
There he goes. The meter's gone. His missus has pulled the plug. She's had enough. And on that note, he's done.
He's back.
He's back. On that note, thank you for everyone who joined us tonight. Thank you for everyone in the comments.
Yeah, you just jumped out for a second, mate.
Thank you for everyone in the comment section. Everyone watched on Twitter and on YouTube. Very good, very enjoyable show tonight. Hopefully, we carry on this enjoyment tomorrow when Arsenal absolutely
What's happening with what do you call it? Barkleyman.
Yeah, I'm good to go. Next Monday.
Next week, we're going to do next Monday. I can do next Monday.
Next Tuesday because it's a family occasion. So I'm going to a party.
Yeah,
on
if
Tuesday
you,
night,
I'll
night.
speak to you maybe tomorrow. If we lose, I won't be speaking to Garth about another till Monday.
I'm in a great position because if we lose, it was
It's
expected.
Yeah.
If you boys lose, you're getting messages.
Yeah, I know. I can see this face like that.
That's what you're getting, just a screenshot. A little photo.
Right. Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight. Peace. Thank you for joining us tonight, Garth, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Pleasure as always, mate.
Cheers, mate.
All right. Peace out, people. Stay safe, and wash your hands.